I'm Alexandra Dwyer, and I have like a bunch of jobs. My first job that brought me to downtown New York was I founded the Parliament Arts Organization. Now I sit as the executive director of the organization. I'm also currently the vice president of retail development for Royal Square Development Group, and I'm also the president of Oliver & Company, which is a retail development group as well. And all of those are based in Royal Square in downtown New York. Where do I begin? So when I graduated high school, I knew I wanted kind of a career either in the arts or in music or even in writing. And through kind of like exploring my interest in that, I worked at Nylon magazine in Soho, and wasn't really fulfilled by it. I felt like I was writing articles about cologne and Jay-Z and Beyonce, and it just didn't have this like fulfilling life for me. So through Nylon, I still had a really good experience there as an intern and then kind of a part-time freelance writer, and I contacted them kind of close to the end of my freelance work, and I said, hey, can you guys help me find another job kind of in this industry? And they then connected me up with EMI Music Group. And I began as an intern at EMI Music Group, but then grew into working there full-time under the director of rock music. And I ended up working with Capitol Records, Virgin Records, Blue Note Records. Basically, EMI is just a company that has a ton of different record labels, and they all specialize in different things. So I did radio promotion and artist management with them under the director of rock music. And so for 2 years of my life, I was on the road, and I got totally burnt out and completely tired of being on the road. At first, you know, I was really young, and I'm still really young, but at first it was like, yes, I'm getting paid to be on the road with famous people. This is amazing. But then, you know, the 16-hour days set in for 2 years straight, and I got burnt out. And after seeing much of the U.S. for, you know, that whole time period, it really even changed in that quick time period. I didn't want to travel anymore. I was really burnt out. I didn't like really live music anymore. I basically had become like a sponge in the record industry, and I just couldn't take it anymore. So I decided, all right, I'm going to stop working with EMI. I'm going to stop doing tour contracts with other labels, and I really got to figure out what I want to do next. I basically was like, where do I move to? I had a little bit of money saved, and I couldn't pick where I wanted to go because I'd been everywhere. It's hard to pick where you want to live if you've been to every major U.S. city in 2 years. And I ended up coming back to York, where I was from. And what ended up happening was I realized that what I was searching on for this whole time was like a community that I could relate to and that I could connect to. And when I moved back to York, I couldn't find that community here. Me and my friends weren't necessarily Murph's college bar girls. We didn't want to go, watch football. I mean, it's like none of that is our thing. There wasn't a lot of culture here in York is really what I'm getting at when we moved back. So through connecting with old friends and finding new ones, a bunch of us got together, and basically we joined together and started the Parliament Arts Organization, and we started having art events at our house. We had about 6 roommates, and we all, Roxy, come here, I'm sorry. This might actually make your footage stronger. but basically we ended up having arts events here, and 5 years later we've helped bring back to life an entire square in the city of York, and I really feel like a lot of our art and culture events that we put on has had a tremendous effect on the renaissance and revitalization of York City, because we're truly working to connect the youth of the Central PA region back into the city with events that they actually want to go to. So basically what I do now every single day is figure out how to get them down here. And I do that through my 4 or 5 jobs. But I have a crazy job. So I work with people, or I do it with certain partners, and we buy buildings, bring them back to life. Most of them have been vacant for 5 or more years, and then develop them into something amazing that's going to bring people back into the city, to bring life back to the city in general, and really to that building in general. So oftentimes though, it's like this building, that building, that building, that building. And once you get through enough of them, you're like, oh, okay, that was a city block, that was a city block, that was a city block. So I guess, you know, really the element that drives me to do any of this is a few really probably weird things that people wouldn't think about. One of them would be definitely that I feel like there has always been this huge disconnect between the older generation of a white and blue collar US weird city and the 18 to 25 year olds. These guys are like, oh, what do they want? I think we know, let's build it. And these guys are like, you don't know what I want. You can't speak for me. Oh, you built this great building. I don't want it. You don't know what kind of apartment I want. And that is a huge motivator for me. That's one of the main reasons why I am in real estate development, and I'm even in the arts, because I feel like I have this unique ability to relay the messages to either side and really determine what each of them is trying to say and what they really want. And I just have this ability to do that and to affect projects that I'm involved in at a level that makes them a real reality and therefore success. So really, I guess what I'm getting at here with this one is I do this because I feel like I need to be a voice for a generation that does not have a voice in the room. But on an even more personal level, I guess I've always been an advocate for kind of an unspoken or lost voice in the room. And I guess I've taken that role that I've always had and turned it into doing that for an entire city. So I guess that's really the two things.